Hey guys, welcome to Run Buck on Games. I'm Run Buck. I've got another episode of Why Did It Work for Clash of Clans, where we try to look at different attacks that are really awesome from our wars and then figure out why they work so that we can track it in our tool, the new version of One Tree. And we're actually going to call this tool, we've decided in this new episode, we're launching the new concept. It's going to be called the Matrix because of the way it looks. So hence the intro that you had with the Barbarian in digital form. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and get into it. And if you don't remember how it worked, here's a card. It'll take you back to the first episode that kind of walks you the tool a little bit more level. But from now on, we'll just kind of zoom right into a given base. So this is the base that we're dealing with. It was a Town Hall 11 Ops 3-starred it, and it was a nice attack. I guess let's just kind of sketch it out real quick. It was a QWalk. That basically came this direction, and what the queen was handling was clearing all this, including the eagle, clearing this channel, right? And then in addition, coming off the back of that, we had the king actually slightly staggered, coming in a little later, such that he went this way, and he cleared this channel all by himself, and also pulled the CC and had a poison action, and it came over here and died. But in effect, the QWalk solo with the king, those two elements, plus a rage spell to help the queen, I think the rage went down around here, did a couple things. Notice how now the ADs, two ADs are down, two ADs are exposed from broadside, so then of course Ops comes through and draws a cut drag with 3 here, and then the main force broadsiding the remaining, I think it was 6, plus loons out of the CC. Drive here with tome ability, overwhelm these two ADs, and then drive through the base while the queen continues her push from the right and comes through, right? It ends up being a 3-star with like 3 dragons left. But let's take a look at it. I'm going to do it at fast speed because we've already kind of seen it on Sketchpad. Let's do a replay and watch it at quick speed. You can kind of get a feel for the flow. So it's interesting that one of the things you got to be looking, and the whole point of this conversation is to always, hopefully you guys will comment in the things below about what attributes of the base enabled this style of attack to work. I think one is that the majority of the defense in this style of base is up here in the top. So a QWalk, this base is very susceptible to that. It doesn't kill the queen off. The queen can survive and not be pressured too much. Only one rage is needed to keep her alive. And the king can do the same job and not really get pressured and really clean a lot of the channel for a flyby for the loons coming through. And the other thing was their expos down. But instead of me just kind of rattle them off, let's pull up the sheet itself, the Matrix, the new name. And here it is. Here's the scoring that we usually hide. Let me to make it simpler. Let me go ahead and just. I'm going to put a filter here real quick. I'm going to filter out all the things for this scoring, which is for our new attack, anything that's an X. So there are the actual questions that I felt were relative to QWalk Dragoon that we just saw with Ops. So the first question was how many expos were down. If you noticed, I don't know if anybody were using your sharp eyesight, but 3 of the 4 expos were down. Granted, 2 of the expos, or 1 of the expos was really lame. Right here, this guy was pretty lame. He wasn't very strong in his power, but it doesn't matter when they're down and you're going air. So it could have been a max expo, it doesn't matter. And so was this guy, and so was this guy. So these 3 were down, and this is the one that was up. So I don't know if 2 up would really make a drastic difference. It might be a slight degrade, which is why I notated it, but it's not like I'm dinging it too much. Let's see here. What did I end up saying it was negative on? So yeah, so every explode up I reduce the score. Max is 100. I reduce it by 15. So you guys could comment on if you think that's overweighted. Because if 2 were up, that means you'd be down to 70 right away. Is that too heavy? Or if all 4 were up, would you say, wow, at that point you really can't do it, but at 2 you could do it, so 70's right, but when 4 are up it would be 60, so that'd be like a 40. So I think it's right. I think 15 is good. The other question I asked, or I thought was key, was asking yourself, can the king solo channel the 2 in front of the channel in front of the two ADs. So having the ability for the king to clear this is pretty important, because it's not easy for a Dragon team to drive into the ADs. They really need a clear shot. But if the base design gives you a way to clear the channel in front of, basically the clutter in front of the ADs, you could, I mean, this is something to be thinking about, right? To say, well, if I can clear the clutter in front of two ADs, the broadside option all of a sudden becomes available to me, because we can tome it and rage it and run over those two guys. So then if I can somehow deal with the other two on the backside, then we're starting to talk business, right? The other thing was two ADs not targeted by QWalk, broadsideable by air. So that's basically what we just said, that these guys are broadsideable, and usually I'm defining that by how far apart they are, meaning because you want the dragons to be dense, meaning their cones of fire will be overlapping and dealing more DPS per second. You don't want it spread out. So in this case, there's 7 tiles center to center. So if you counted tiles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's what I put down on the sheet for now, for starters. But if you think it should be more, like you think, I think 9 tiles could work, or I think it don't. But some type of center to center, I think, is a good measure. But I think it needs to be, yes. I mean, they need to be able to broadside it. If you have your typical symmetrical AD positioning where they're each, pretty spread apart and at different sides of the base, I think it gets a little harder. CC, can the QWalk plus king solo, the early phase, plus 2 poisons, neutralize and trigger the CC? So we want to be making sure that the dragons, again, don't get caught up when they're dealing with this broadside. We want them right in and blowing on these things ASAP, right? And to do that, we need the king to come through and trigger, and then a poison can work it while the king just takes fire, and then she can wander off, and then the last poison as she comes after the queen, who then survives, right? And then lastly, can the queen get down with just 1 rage, get down the eagle and 2 ADs, right? Because if you don't get the 2 ADs down, then kind of, I mean, it might be still doable, because it might still be kind of like a 2-star if you didn't get this guy down, but if you got this one down, but we're talking 3 right here, so this is the ideal. So those are the ones I came up with, but you tell me, should I take some off? Should I add some other criteria on there about the base? Or do you think the scoring and weighting is off? For funsies, if you want to see the current look here, here's how this, here's how it's starting to evolve, right? So now we've got 2 attacks, and you can see how the score on this sheet would be done. So you would basically, in the case of using it, you would fill out the questionnaire, not really knowing what the questions were relative to. Then you'd come to this page, and they'd have different scores. Cool, huh? So as we get going, and we get like 10, 50, you can have different flavors of QWalk Dragoon even. Like, so it could be the same mix of troops with different deployment style, if we really got crazy. But for now, we'll just go with that and just kind of see how it goes. So hopefully it helps. I look forward to your guys' comments. As always, I'll put a link to the base. If you just want to look at the base, that'll be in the YouTube comments, and a link to the sheet. If you want to play with the formulas yourself, you can. I'll put that in the comments too. But otherwise, look forward to hearing what you have to say. There are a few more from this war. It was a pretty good war, so there might be 3 or 4 others we take a look at from this war as well. Talk to you guys later.
What am I gonna do? My clan sucks. Hey, it's JTJ.
I think that's an all-out attack.
No, it's the legendary JTJU. 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 What? I like Dragoon. You and this army. Download Clash of Clans for free. Then subscribe to JTJU and win.